It's going to be the rapid fire talking about our stuff here. That's just for anyone who's been looking at the border and the stuff that's been going on. Governor Abbott of Texas has been trying to do stuff himself because the Biden administration really isn't doing a whole lot of much, because Biden is kind of at the will of his far left side of his party. He doesn't want to upset them. So he's been kind of milquetoast on it. And so Governor Abbott has taken some stands himself, which pissed off the federal government. They put up razor wire, and they also kicked the Border Patrol out of a couple parks and areas that had high illegal crossings. And the main reason behind that was that what's been happening with the border, or especially the Border Patrol, is they've almost been turned into just a ferry service where they're just kind of like writing these people's names down, and all you have to do is claim asylum, which is literally just like, I'm afraid to go back to my country. And then they're like, okay. And they give you like a court date, and then they send you into the country, and you're supposed to come back for your court date. And no one's going to come back for the court date, because then you actually have to prove the asylum claim. But the Border Patrol has kind of been turned into ferry agents, just putting these people on a bus and sending them into the country. And not a whole lot of people are getting turned around and turned back. So you're starting to see Governor Abbott kind of take some matters into his own hands, and he did the razor wire. And that article's talking about the Supreme Court yesterday, I believe it was yesterday, sided with the Biden administration, ruling that the federal officials can cut through the razor wire and take it down. So, and they're also in the middle of suing Governor Abbott about kicking the Border Patrol agents out. So we'll see how that goes. But I'm not the world's biggest Governor Abbott fan, but I give him credit for at least trying to do something when no one else is doing something, like kind of taking matters into his own hands. Because you notice with these people, like, they weren't upset at all until we started busing the immigrants into we started busing them into Chicago and busing them into New York, and then all of a sudden now they're like, wait a minute guys. So it's not a problem if they're coming into Texas and California and New Mexico and stuff, but it's a problem if it's coming into Chicago. And like I said, I've said in previous episodes, like, I'm not against immigration, but the system itself needs to be reformed and updated, and stuff needs to be done with that. And you can't just be letting people come over unvetted, because the reality is that not everybody's coming over for correct reasons, and they're bringing a lot of, some of them are bringing a lot of bad stuff with them, like that fentanyl stuff that we were talking about yesterday. So,
right.
I applaud Governor Abbott in and of itself just for taking a stand when the federal government wasn't helping him. It takes guts.
Right.